Hey everyone, it's Michael. I haven't made any videos this week just because I've just been kind of busy, kind of not into reading at the moment. Like, I just needed a couple of days to kind of recoup. But anyway, today I'm going to be doing a review for the last book of the original 62 book run of Goosebumps from the classic era. You know, things like Night of the Living Dummy and, the old classic era, the original book series. This is the last book, book number 62, Goosebumps Monster Blood number 4. Or Monster Blood 4, if you just want to call it that. I thought this would be a weird book when my fiance bought it for me. I hadn't actually seen this cover until she got it for me for, I think it was Christmas the other year, something like that. And I saw this cover and I was like, this could be kind of weird with these weird blue creatures. And then I started hearing things online. I started hearing things like, this is kind of like Gremlins, the movie. And I was like, that could be kind of interesting. And it was. This was a really fun book. This is one of the best Monster Blood books, I'd say. Very much on the silly side, which, by the way, was kind of cool. On the back of the book, it actually has the little advertisement for Goosebumps Series 2000. This book was fun. It was really enjoyable. Again, I took a few days off from reading it for just whatever reason. I just was kind of burnt out on reading for a few days. I wanted to kind of relax and get my mind together, read some other stuff. I guess that's not taking a break from reading, but I just kind of wanted to take a break from reading Goosebumps for a moment. And now I'm back. I'm excited to finish up these. It's already August. As of today, it's like August 1st. It's weird, man. The whole year is flying by. Monster Blood 4. What is this about? Of course, our main character is Evan, just like in the past 3 books. Well, 4 book reviews for me, because I also did the TV book thing review, too. So, in the previous books, we also had Evan and Andy. Andy's in this book as well. Not as much as in the first 3. And it kind of surprised me. But Kermit from Monster Blood 3 is actually back, the cousin of the main character, Andy, or Evan. You might wonder why this is called a Monster Blood book and doesn't have, like, green slime on the cover or have anything but blue, weird-looking creatures on the front that look kind of like little alien heads. Well, there is possibly a chance that there is a new Monster Blood that's blue. And it's real odd. It's real weird. And, literally half of this book goes by. And it's not that it's boring or anything. Half of the book goes by and then this thing finally kind of shows up. And for whatever reason, this Monster Blood is blue. And when it comes out of the container, it forms into a little type of weird looking creature that happens to be blue, and it has eyes, and it actually smiles at first. But there's something weird about this thing. It basically can't stay away from drinking water as much as possible. If it runs its like bottom or mouth or whatever over your grass in your front yard, it's going to actually attach its mouth to the ground and to the grass and stuff and suck the water out of it. This thing has a drinking problem, basically. It's a huge water obsession type thing, and if it gets on you, it'll try to suck the water out of your arm and skin, whatever. If it's near a faucet, it'll latch onto that and it'll suck all the water out of that, like out of a shower head and stuff. It got real wild real quick, and it was fun. Again, almost half of the book is over before the Monster Blood even comes into play in the book. And you have a lot of stuff like Conan, for example. Conan's in the book again. He's beating up the kids, mainly Evan, and it's kind of funny. There's a lot of humor in this. I can't imagine what it would have been like to think that this would have been the last book ever from Goosebumps, because it was there for a little bit, even though it has the advertisement on the back. And I'm glad my fiance got it for me when she did, because apparently this is getting a little bit harder to find now for a decent price. And it's in great condition, but I'm almost convinced that this is a bootleg copy. Like, the cover feels really thick compared to your typical Goosebumps book, which I don't know if that's common with the closer to Series 2000 books, because I have some Series 2000 books that feel that way too. I'm pretty convinced that it's a bootleg copy, and I don't realize it. A lot of typos every once in a while. Anyway, I had a fun time reading this. It's not the best book ever. It's not the best Goosebumps book ever. I would say, personally, this and Monster Blood 2 are kind of tied for my favorite Monster Blood book. This is really, really fun. A really silly book. It's one of the more wild and silly stories from Goosebumps that could have been its own thing. It didn't need to be a Monster Blood book, but I'm glad it was. At least we ended the original classic series on a good series that people enjoyed quite a bit. Even though I'm not a big fan of it, it seems like a lot of people love Monster Blood for whatever reason. Yeah, the series has definitely progressed, because like I said, the first book wasn't that great, and to end up here at the end of the franchise kind of surprised me by how much fun this was. And this is on the sillier side of things like Egg Monsters from Mars. If you happen to love that book, you'll love this, and vice versa. It was good. It was fun. The characters are always fun. That was one of the best things about this. I feel like if this was your typical Goosebumps book, that we hadn't gotten to know these characters over 3 or 4 books now, and we didn't love them as much as we do, I don't think we would have had a great time. I don't think there would have been an excuse to have half the book go by and then not really have anything interesting happening. But it was fun. I had a great time reading it. I recommend it. One of the weirdest things in this book that I thought was kind of cool and kind of gross at the same time was that, and this is just like a random thing I wanted to talk about, Kermit, of course, the cousin of the main character, Evan, he is a little jerk. And Evan, of course, is staying with him and his aunt and kind of babysitting Kermit off and on. Kermit's significantly younger than he and Andy. And one of the things that Kermit developed in his lab, where he messes with a lot of like scientific chemicals and all kinds of stuff, beakers, he's a big old scientist type of guy. He developed this thing that can turn stuff hairy, right? Like he can take an egg and put this stuff on it, and the actual egg will have hair all over it. And it comes into play in the story, sort of, kind of. But that whole idea of a hairy egg is so gross and so disgusting. I just can't imagine. Can you imagine buying groceries, buying a bunch of eggs, right? And you open up the pack, and there's hairy eggs. Do you know how horrified I'd be? Anyway, good book, fun book. Not my favorite, but it's pretty decent. It's better than a lot of the Monster Blood books, in my opinion. But again, kind of tied with Monster Blood 2 as my favorite of this particular series. It's good. It's good. I recommend it. So what did you guys think about Goosebumps number 62, Monster Blood 4? Did you guys pick this up when it came out back in the day? I'd love to hear if anybody actually thought that this might have been the last book ever from Goosebumps at the time. Because there were so many. 62 books. It's a lot of books, man. And then to keep going all these years later and have so many series, man. That's crazy. Between this and Give Yourself Goosebumps, there's like over 100 books, easily. But anyway, what are your thoughts on Monster Blood 4? Put your thoughts in comments down below, folks. I'm sorry if you hear my grandfather coughing in there, too. He's sick right now. Not like puking or anything, but he's just like got a cough thing like I had the other week. Poor fella. He can like barely function without coughing. But anyway, what did you think about Monster Blood 4? Put your thoughts in comments down below. I'd love to hear what you have to say. If I had to rate Monster Blood 4 on a 5-star basis, I think I would give it a 4 out of 5. I enjoyed this quite a bit. Really fun, really silly. Like I said, I enjoy the sillier natured Goosebumps books like that. Either really scary like Ghost Camp or something like this. I enjoy both ends of the spectrum on this. I think when it's too close to the middle, a lot of the time it just kind of meanders. And this book has a lot of meandering. Like I said, almost 50-something pages go by of just the characters doing stuff. And that's what the biggest complaint I have with this, is it felt like it didn't move the way it should have. But even so, what are your thoughts? Put them down below, guys. Thank you for watching. May the Lord Jesus Christ bless you guys today, and goodbye.